This question I've been asked a lot is, why are we painting? Let's find out. Alright, welcome on Laughing Museums. Hello, I'm here. Okay, can you... I'm talking in my camera. Hello, welcome on Laughing Museums. My name is Cedric. Thank you so much for joining. And today, I swear to God, I woke up this morning and I had like this epiphany, like I discovered finally an answer to that question that I've been asked for 16 years, and I never really got a proper answer. I don't think it's gonna be the best answer or anything, but I think something clicked in my brain and I realized, well, let's go through it and then maybe you'll understand my point a little bit better. So, what interests me, forgot to put a watch, that's when I'm excited. So I realized by reading a lot of pre-Socratic philosophy probably, that why are we painting? I remember when I published my book Love Your Way Through the Louvre, one of the questions was taking up on a guest who I told we don't need painting, we don't need art, and she was like really shocked by that, and I'm like, no, technically we need water and sleep. The rest is existence. Existence is Greek, ek sistere, so projecting your life into the future. That's what we do as human beings. And when we do that, then the brain is changing. And that's exactly what happened from the origin of time. Okay, let's go back a little bit. We are animals on 4 legs. Okay, maybe we're in the water before. Let's move straight to the 4 legs. And then we decide to stand and get only on 2 legs, all right? To use these little babies, which are the arms and hand, with the famous prosupination, which is going to fascinate Leonardo da Vinci. And we're like, okay, we're going to do something with that. And then we're going to, of course, do a lot of things that are going to be Stone Age, Bronze Age, etc., etc., the logical evolution of civilization. Follow me on this one. We arrive to the first civilization. Usually I take the example, the clothes that you hear in Occident about the Sumerian civilization. So cities like Sumer and Babylon are born, they are building houses, and then they start to paint the walls. In the meantime, even during the time of cave art, there was painting. We know there was a lot of necklaces, there was work such as tattooing, scarification, modifying your appearance in a way or another. But why are we painting per se? It's not answering the question. Here is something that really strikes me, is, I don't know if you're into that, but nowadays, we talk a lot about the reptilian brain. So the reptilian brain is supposed to be the brain that we still have as an animal, using mostly senses such as viewing and smelling. Those 2 senses are very important in the animal domain, because that's how you repair what you're going to eat or what is going to eat you. That's why you have to smell from far and you have to see from far for birds, cats, stuff like that, right? But what interests me is by developing our hands, we develop what we call the cortex, and this cortex is making us think and civilization. But these 2 senses are very interesting, because what do we use mostly in museums? Mostly the view, which is a sense that we use from far away, okay? It's funny because when you get to the other senses, which are taste and smell, and touch, then you need to be closer, okay? Where am I going with that? We know that the history of fine art and the history of artistry in general is based on this word developed in 1750 by Baumgartner called aesthetic. And then it is a Greek word, and that Greek word of aesthetic is coming back to the experimentation of sensation from Greek, which is coming from the main sensation, which is smell. Weird enough, you don't smell paintings anymore, and I don't think anyone is relating the word aesthetic to smell. So my point is, I'm trying to make a very simple question, a very simple answer, but you see, even the simplest questions I always have very complex answer, or at least we can go a little deeper into this answer. My point being that we both use our cortex, or a modern brain that is evolving the speed of civilization, except for politicians. Okay, that was an easy shot. But evolving the speed of civilization. But then nowadays we realize the importance of that reptilian brain of us, that is still that brain that needs to use our sense in a primal function, which is survival, which is just things like this, right? And so I think we get to understand aesthetic and the beauty, the world around it, and mostly the art world using both, okay? And that's fantastic. I think that's leading something like The Comedian by Maurizio Cattelan, that famous banana duct tape to wall that made so much noise in the Biennale in Venice like a few years back. And I think what Maurizio Cattelan, which is a fantastic artist on many, many ways, was telling us on this one was the fact that there's a smell in that. The new foundation that happened in Paris at the Bourse du Commerce is showing pieces made out of candles or wax. So that means the wax is going and the piece is disappearing, but what is going with wax? There's a smell. So there's also a smell in that, right? And you see and then you don't see. And wax, famous tradition of philosophy, and I'm sure I forgot who made that piece in the Bourse du Commerce. I'm going to try to write the name right there. Wax is a famous example in philosophy about wax, because wax, it's solid and then you burn it and then it changes the aspect completely. It's cold and then it's warm, it's solid and then it's liquid. It's this kind of things which are a fantastic example for the evolution of philosophy. So I think really nowadays, and I'm very, very happy that the civilization of my generation and definitely the next generation are going to use our brain in a different way by mixing really our primitive being to the modern being of being intellectual, and that this is going to open many possibilities for creators, but also many possibilities for the public to enjoy art history that is to come and creation. And you know, when I was writing, actually, this is part of a chapter of a book I'm writing on painting right now, and when I was writing that, I realized there's many things that are touching the market to make it evolve, the art history and art in general. Of course, the technique is changing. No, we got virtual art, we got everything that is digital, etc., etc. But also the way that we approach society and we appropriate society around us, and that will be the new way of being around ourselves, right? I'm always thinking that the Mona Lisa is such a celebrity because she's super realistic. No one really thought about doing something so realistic back in the day, but also it's an oil painting, right? Oil painting would have not been possible without the Netherlands and big cities like Amsterdam. And why are the cities like Amsterdam went so big? Because there was a bit of a market going there, and without that market they will be there. And you know what I'm always saying, without a market there's no art at all, right? You need a market to have art, okay? And so this is a whole combination of Leonardo using the latest technique and the way we appropriate the world. I'm always saying, imagine Mona Lisa 1503, 1504, Christopher Columbus 1492. In this 10 years we the world got like way bigger, discovering an entire continent, and then the technique of painting like blew away with something like the Mona Lisa, and everything will change forever. No, we have the 500 years back, so we can look at it right now, and I'm saying this is happening again right now. Thank you so much for watching. Do not hesitate, if you want to support the channel, you can buy the book Love Your Way through the Louvre 2022. I guarantee you there's going to be a new book on painting, the history of painting, another 300 pages book at least. And thank you so much for joining. You can like, you can subscribe, you can talk about it, and no matter what you do, don't forget, if you're not doing it with a smile, well, you're doing it wrong.